Hey girl, welcome back. So have you ever woken up in the morning like super motivated, right? Very determined, like today is the day, right? You're going to get this weight off. You're going to stick with your diet plan. You're totally going to do it. Breakfast goes okay. You're cruising into lunch. And things start to get a little bit weird. You start to get a little bit agitated. You stub your toe. The boss yells at you. The deal that was supposed to go through doesn't go through. The kid gets sick or hurts somebody at work and they call you. And it just seems like it's one thing after another of frustration and disappointment. And by the time you get home in the evening time and someone looks at you and has the nerve to say, Mom, what's for dinner? And you're like, whatever, I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. I don't care. I need a break. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. I'll start again tomorrow. Yes. Yes. That is the sweet spot right there. This is the exact time that we actually need the most help that we can possibly get, because this is the kicker, you guys. This is the twist. This is going to make the biggest difference in your journey, is getting past those moments of frustration and disappointment and where you have that thought, I don't freaking care anymore, right? I don't care. It's not even worth it. So there are three ways that I have found are just indispensable in making sure that those moments expand, that the space between the thought and the action begins to have some more room, to where we have the opportunity and the choice in thought. Like, we always think that it's a choice. Oh yeah, I made that decision. It's like, well, when you woke up this morning, you were gosh darn determined that you are not going to go off plan today. All right, so let's talk about this, because really the best weight loss advice that I ever got and that I can ever possibly give you is to expect failure. It's unpopular to think about ourselves as failing. But really, I think we got to take that word back. We got to take our power back and realize that failure is part of the process, and that it is feedback and an information on where our sticking points are and where it is that we need the most help, and why certain plans are going to work for us and other ones might not, right? So like for some of you, it's going to be really easy to just grab whatever diet plan it is, get some, make sense of it, and then go about implementing it. And for the rest of us, we struggle. We struggle, and there's all these little sticking points along the way, and we have to figure out ways to navigate those. So that's totally okay, right? Let's just take the blame and the shame off of it and know that this is going to be an experience. We're going to be bumping up against ourselves, bumping up against walls, bumping up against roadblocks. But there are a lot of ways that we can begin to navigate that with a little bit of help and a little bit of support, so that we're not making the same mistakes, the same failures over and over again, and not actually learning from them and doing something different next time. So there are three fail safes to this kind of expectation that we're going to have and that we're really going to work with. Number one is in the house. Okay, so let me explain this. When I go to bed at night, right? So after dinner, I always think about my next day. Like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? So tomorrow specifically it's going to be the weekend. And so my son has got some basketball games. I got some things I'm going to do in the morning. And so my day is going to be a little bit different than it was today or during the week. So I just take a moment to think about my day and think about where my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner fit into that day. And I look around in the house and I see what food I have in my house. And I jot down what my intention is for breakfast, what my intention for lunch is, and what my intention for dinner is. I actually get very specific, even to like what it is and the ounce, whether it's like a vegetable or if it's a fruit or if it's a meat or if it's a fat or whatever it is, so that by the time that I then get to that point in my day, I have already planned it. All of that food is already in the house. Now, if I choose to go out to lunch or something happens and I have to make a change, that's totally okay. But at least I've taken the time to plan and prepare success for me, so that by the time I get there, I'm not trying to make decisions when I'm hungry and I'm irritated and I'm frustrated and I'm tired and like the day has gotten away from me and I just don't really care anymore. Right? Because that happens. It actually happened today. This is why I'm actually speaking to you guys right now on this very topic, is because this is exactly what happened at lunch today. I had a really tough morning. I was frustrated. Everything that I tried to do for my business did not work out. I felt like I failed at everything. I stubbed my toe. Nothing was freaking working everywhere that I went. And by the time I got to lunch, I was hungry and I was irritated and I honestly didn't care. And I wanted to just have whatever it was. But I'm so in the habit of writing my food down the night before and making sure that all of that stuff is in the house that I automatically went to those things first. I didn't want to. I was annoyed. I was frustrated. I still had that inner dialogue of like, I don't really care. I really want to have this thing over here. But what my actions did, because I have set myself up to have the habit of eating what I wrote down. And I've been doing that for so long, for so many days and weeks and months and years now, that has become second nature. So it doesn't matter what the surface level dramas and traumas and stresses are. My foundation, my habit stack is solid. And that's what I want for you. And that's really the difference between doing a diet just to lose weight and actually beginning to eat in a way that is sane and consistent, that you can do next year, next decade, in 20 years from now, that every day it makes sense, right? To have breakfast, lunch, and dinner of like real, fresh, alive, and vibrant foods and like be intentional about it. All healthy people are intentional about what it is that they eat and they put in their bodies. It's not just those of us that struggle and have to lose weight. No. Right? If we just go around eating whatever is there or whatever is easiest or convenient, it doesn't work anymore. In 2022, you will not be healthy. You will not feel good in your body. You will have to take some kind of medication if you just eat what's convenient and quick and right in front of you. Right? It takes planning, it takes intention, and it's totally okay. Right? You might not always like it, but it's okay. All people who want to be healthy have to do that. Okay, so the second thing is what my son calls string theory, and I really love this. He said, Mom, really the difference is that when you're when you're struggling with something and you have a group, you have people that are getting to know you and you're getting to know them and you're on a journey and a path together. It's like you guys are connected by a string, you on one end and them on the other. And everywhere that you go in the world, you're always connected to them and they're always connected to you. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. And that's exactly how I feel. I am very intentional about staying in contact with my people, the ladies that are on the same journey as me. So not only am I the health coach for a group of ladies who are in a group all cruising along the same path together, I also have my own mastermind in groups where I am part of their group. I'm not the coach and the leading person. That's actually a really good tip. If you ever go see a coach or a therapist or hire a hypnotherapist or anything like that, always make sure that they also have someone that they're going to see, right? That's very important that we stay in the middle of our own health and healing at all times, right? Because then we're connected and we never feel alone. So while I was in there at lunchtime and I was frustrated and annoyed and disappointed and didn't want to have the lunch that I had planned, I did it anyway. And a little part of that was because I had been planning and I planned the night before. And another little part of that was that I have a commitment to myself and to my group and to the ladies that I am also in a group with, right? I'm connected on that kind of a level. And I know that they help hold me accountable to what my goals are, not what their goals are. What my goals are, what I have shown up every week and stated as what's important to me and the things that I want for my health and my life and my vitality. And the third thing here is hypnotherapy. Now, hypno meaning sleep and therapy meaning like a treatment. So when we're sleeping, we're rested, we're relaxed, our nervous system is calm, our eyes are closed, we're not having to engage or do things in the outside world, right? We're not having to interact with other human beings and like figure out what the right thing to do is so that we can get the results that we want. That's what's really beautiful about hypnotherapy. It's in a state of relaxation. We are creating a therapeutic environment where we can have a transformation, where we can have a change, where we can have some healing that is sufficient. And this is really where the mind is able to, in that relaxed state, begin to see possibilities and opportunities that it didn't see when it was in the wide awake, stressed out state. And you know what I mean? I mean, there's that saying, sleep on it, right? Well, what if when you were sleeping, not only was your mind doing what it does naturally, where it kind of cleanses out the things that it doesn't need anymore. Actually, literally, it does that. Your brain actually releases a chemical when you're in REM sleep in the middle of the night that literally detoxifies the toxins. That rest and relaxation is like a reboot. It's a cleansing of the system. Well, what if while you were sleeping, you were actually intentional about the thoughts that you were thinking, and intentional about thinking beyond your present circumstances and using the power, this God-given gift of your imagination, to begin to think of things the way that you want them to be. And the more that we practice that, the more that we rehearse in our minds in that relaxed state with intention, the attitudes and beliefs and behaviors that are going to be what we want for our lives, that are actually going to help produce the happy, joyous, and free and at your natural and ideal weight without a struggle with food and body image. It's not like I'm going to wake up tomorrow as a 15-year-old model. That's not what's going to happen. I'm still going to have this life and this body and this skin and these memories. But what gets to happen is I get to be the best version of me. And that's really what hypnotherapy is about. It's about allowing each of us to access our own inner genius and our own inner wisdom so that we can begin to create the life that we want for ourselves. And our mind begins to open up, and there's a little bit of space now between the thought and the action. That thought of frustration and the action of, I don't care, I'm eating ice cream. Because for so long, those two were so intertwined and so interconnected that it didn't feel like I really had a choice. I would lie to myself and say, oh yeah, well, I chose to do that, even though every morning I would wake up saying I'm not going to do it. And then life would happen, and I would be triggered in some way, and I would do it again. Until I finally was able to be honest with myself and say, it doesn't feel like I have a choice. I actually need some help. Right? I actually need to begin to plan and to have the support and to make the changes on that subconscious level so that I'm not fighting myself anymore. And that is what I know is available to you as well. So that's super exciting. All right, well, thanks for being here. Make sure that you like and that you comment and that you subscribe so that you don't miss one thing. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be going over specifically when I talk about planning for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I want to tell you exactly what that is so that you can begin to get some physical relief as well as the mental and emotional release. All right, I love you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.